Hi, boys and girls. This is Aunt Debbie bringing you Sabbath School for my own home here in the state of Illinois in the United States. As you know, with the COVID-19 disease going on right now, we're not able to go to church and to meet together, and I really miss seeing my friends at church, and especially my students in Sabbath School. I just want to give a shout out for the kindergartners out there who are watching this, and anyone else who wants to join me. Well, as you can see at home, we can also have our pets with us. I just want to introduce to you Gomer. Maybe you have a pet at home, and I hope your pet is really bringing you extra comfort. I'm so thankful God made these little guys. And it doesn't matter if it's a fish you have in a fish tank or a bird in a bird cage at home or a cat. Animals just can really bring us so much comfort. By the way, they need to be taken care of too, don't they? Gomer likes to have fresh food and water every day. We won't talk about all the snacks he likes to eat either. Well, there goes Gomer. Anyway, just thank you so much for joining me, and I hope and pray that this is a real special time for you. Well, you know, sometimes life can really be challenging at times, especially when things change, like when you're not getting to go to school anymore or go to the park and play, or maybe go to a trampoline place, you know, where you can jump around. I bet you miss those things. But let's see what we can be thankful for and to enjoy at our own homes. This is just a paper chain. I imagine most of you have paper at home, and you can have maybe a big person help you cut it and make strips. And this is something to think about to help you to think of things you're thankful for. I've written different things on mine. Grapefruit. I love grapefruit. I've enjoyed eating that, especially right now while I'm at home. I'm thankful for my dog Gomer that I just held up a little bit ago. Our sons, Austin and Jason, and my husband, Glenn. I'm also thankful for a home in which to live. I'm also thankful for heaven. Now, it may be that you have a little stapler at home or some tape, and you might be able to have a person help you write things on your chain of blessings, things that you're really thankful for. You know, it says in the Bible, a cheerful heart is good medicine. And the more blessings we think about that God gives us, the more that we'll feel better. I mean, we'll be more grateful, and it just kind of just keeps on going on. Well, this one, I wrote down Jesus. I'm thankful for Jesus. Another thing you can do, I know a lot of kids love stickers. I wouldn't be surprised if you have some at home. Well, I have one here. It has a pretty butterfly on it, so I'll stick that on my chain there, and that one link. I would like to suggest to you to make a blessing chain and to see how many things you can think of and name that you're grateful for. You never know. You might have chains going all over your house. But it's a fun way to decorate as well as thinking about God's blessings. Another thing I do in my Sabbath school, and I've done this whether I lived overseas, when I've been in a missionary setting. Yeah, I was a missionary for over 7 years. I used to live in Asia. And I'm so thankful for that experience. And I've been a Sabbath school teacher in different states, and one of the things kids love is a nature nugget. Okay, so this is a time for you to guess. I'm going to give you some hints as to what the surprise animal is in here. So I'm going to open up my box from this side where you can't see. I've got my little animal in there. It's not a real animal. I wouldn't have a real animal in here. But it's a model. Okay, here are some clues, and see who can guess first. This animal usually lives alone. And there are around 145, 150 or more different types of these animals. We call those species. But in the United States, not that many of them live here. In fact, under 20 of this type of animal lives here. They do live just about everywhere, though, in the world except way, way down in the bottom of the earth in Antarctica. I guess they don't like it so cold. And they even live on some islands. Now, the smallest one of these animals is only about 6 inches tall, whereas the biggest one is about 30 inches tall. Have you made any guesses yet? Keep on guessing. They are excellent hunters. They are super, super good at catching their prey. Now, both the moms and the dads, the males and the females, help care for the babies. I like that. They both pitch in. Well, when they're hunting, they like to get things like mice and squirrels, fish, and other little mammals. Some do hunt in the day, but most of them, here's a huge clue, hunt at night. They have short, thick bodies, but they do have powerful feet with very sharp talons. What's a talon? Like a very long fingernail, except narrow and sharp. I'm glad I have fingernails. I wouldn't want talons, but this animal definitely wants its talons. Well, it can fly pretty quickly, pretty fast. There's another huge hint. Okay, boys and girls, have you guessed what it is? Well, just in case you haven't, let me give you a few more hints. Oh, they don't build fancy nests. You know, some birds make little nests that have almost like hair fine, pieces in it. But this one is going to be a pretty messy nest, the kind that the mom makes. And they do have a big, broad head for the size of its body. And it has a saucer-shaped ruff or like little fine feathers around its face. So, what kind of animal can fly, has a big head, a flat face, likes to hunt? Most hunt at night, and it's very quiet when it flies. Have you guessed? I bet you have by now. Of course. Here it comes, the owl. And owls are just amazing creatures that God has made. I really like owls. And this is just a little model of like a little small screech owl. And someday, when we're able to go out and travel again, I hope you get to go to the zoo and maybe see some owls, or better yet, maybe when you're driving out in the countryside. Well, that's God's Nature Nugget this time. Next time I'll have another one for you. Now it is time for the Bible study. Oh yeah, the Bible study. This is what the felt board is here for, and we're going to be talking about a really neat thing that happened from God's holy word, and is all explained in the book of Genesis, Genesis 18:21. This is continuing on the Bible, Sabbath School Bible stories that are in the first quarter. So we'll be starting new stories next week. And there was a man named Abraham who lived in a tent. Now, have you ever gone camping? I'm willing to camp in a tent, but to live in a tent, oh yes. Abraham and his wonderful wife Sarah lived in a tent. Well, as he was in his tent on a very hot day, resting in the shade of his tent, all of a sudden, Abraham saw that there were some visitors coming. So Abraham came out of his tent, and there, right there near him, were 3 men. In fact, one of them was God himself. And they came up to Abraham, and he was surprised. But he didn't just say, well, excuse me, it's too hot of a day. I don't really have any time for company today. Oh, no, not Abraham. He was really kind and really friendly. In fact, we say he was hospitable. Can you say that word? Hospitable. In other words, he was one who wanted to be kind and to show his care for others, and that he did. In fact, he told the three men, would you please stay? In fact, I'll bring you some water so you can wash your feet. Have you ever gone to someone's house and they offered you a pan of water to wash your feet? That may seem kind of strange, but not for Abraham, because you see, thousands of years ago, in fact where they lived, people's feet would get dirty because they wore sandals. They didn't have shoes and socks like we have now. So it was a good sign of kindness to offer water for your guests to wash their feet. So that's what he did. And he brought them water. And then he rushed into the tent. And who was in the tent but his wife, Sarah? And he told her, Sarah, we have 3 very special visitors. Would you please quickly get some extra fine flour, use the best flour we have, and make some special cakes for our visitors. We want to make sure we give them the best and give them some really good food. And then he went to a servant and asked the servant to bring more food as well. And by, the food was brought over to the guests, and they ate out there by the trees, the oaks of Mamre. And they had milk and curds and the meat and the bread, the cakes. And Sarah went back into the tent. She stayed in the tent while they were visiting. And Abraham watched his visitors eat. He was happy to see that they were eating the food that they had prepared. They gave the best that they could. And as they were eating, God said to Abraham, next year, something really exciting is going to happen. Your wife, Sarah, is going to have a baby. Someone was in the tent, eavesdropping. Do you know what eavesdropping means? She was listening into the conversation. And she laughed to herself. Me have a baby? Why, at that time, Sarah was about 89, and her husband was like 10 years older. He was like 99. Have you known any ladies having babies at that age, 89, 90? I haven't. Well, boy, this was going to be pretty special. So she laughed to herself, and God asked Abraham, why did Sarah laugh? Did she laugh? Oh, no. Sarah felt really nervous and scared. It's like, he knew what I was thinking. And then she did a sad thing. She lied. Does God want us to lie? No. We can tell the truth. He wants us to be honest. And so she thought, well, I just don't know how this is possible. But God said in Genesis 18 and in verse 15 or 14, it says, is anything too hard for the Lord? At the appointed time I will return to you about this time next year, and Sarah shall have a son. Did that really happen? Did Miss Sarah actually have a baby? Well, sure enough, a year passed, and Miss Sarah and Mr. Abraham, they had a son. And the son's name was Isaac. And God heard the prayer. And God also knew that they would love to have a son, a promised son, as God had said he would have. And Miss Sarah, was 90, and Mr. Abraham was 100 when Isaac, son of laughter, who brought them joy, was born. You know, sometimes we feel really sad. We wonder if we'll ever laugh again. We wonder if we'll ever be happy again. Yes, God is the one who can bring you joy. He did that even for Miss Sarah and Mr. Abraham. Remember, God says, is anything too hard for the Lord? No, it's not. God can see us through no matter how hard times can get. Right now, why don't we have a little prayer together? Okay? Dear Jesus, thank you so much that you did such a special thing for Miss Sarah and Mr. Abraham by bringing them the promised son, Isaac. Lord, right now, there are a lot of people who are really sad because a lot of people are sick. And we ask for your strength and for your healing and your joy. Someday soon, we look forward to getting to go back to our churches again and schools and the parks and lakes and rivers and all sorts of fun things. And until then, Lord, please keep us all safe. We love you, Jesus. Amen. Thank you. Join me next week. See you.